I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about issues dealing with an unregulated industry, drones, and some of the problems that drones are causing. My guest this segment is Freddie Rodriguez, a member of the State Assembly from Chino. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Now, I know you chair a joint legislative committee on emergency preparedness.
Yes.
And you recently held a hearing on the drone issue. I mean, the drone issue is just spiraling almost out of control, what we've seen lately with drones interfering with firefighters, with emergency medical helicopters. This is really turning into a huge problem.
Yes, Steve, the list is growing. I think what really got everybody's attention was the big fire down near my area, the North Fire, where the water-dropping airplanes couldn't fly for about half an hour because there was, I believe, 5 drones flying in the area. That created a huge problem, and then that fire escalated, jumped the highway, burned cars, and really did a lot of damage where probably could have been prevented had those water-dropping airplanes were able to fly and do their job. Right. And then just recently there was an issue here in Fresno with the drone interfering with the medical helicopter.
Right. So what came out of your hearing? I mean, what's the takeaway?
Well, the takeaway is there's several bills moving through the process right now. I'm a co-author of one of the bills, Senate Bill 168, I believe, with Hannibal Jackson regarding the use of drones, that being able to remove them that are any flight within an emergency area.
Okay. And there's another bill that is pending that deals with the police. And the police officers and police departments would like to use drones also. And that brings up privacy and civil liberty issues. One bill requires warrants before you can have drone surveillance in public areas. Right.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, what came out of the hearing as well are the useful technologies that bring to law enforcement and public safety in general. They were talking about the use of drones that can take an AED out to somebody that's suffering from a heart attack, or the use of drones to take a life vest out to somebody in the ocean or in a lake. And they're also talking about, taking a rope or a life, assisting folks that are maybe lost hiking out in the rural areas. So there's a lot of useful for emergency services, but then we got to look at the folks that are using them for the other aspects that interfere with those types of
Do you think there's a civil liberties issue here?
I think there's something to explore. We need to make sure we get this right, and that's why we had that hearing, to hear from both sides on what can be done. But I think the most important thing is the people that are using drones that are interfering with emergency operations. Mm-hmm. That is the big key.
There are some who say that this is a national problem. There should be some federal regulations, but when you get a patchwork of local or state regulations, that makes it too confusing. What do you think about that?
I think you can, and that's why we want to lead the way to see what we can do here. What has California done because of the incidents that have occurred? So I think there's a lot of information we need to work, and I think we're just barely starting to scratch the surface of it.
Have you at all talked to law enforcement about this and their efforts to use drones?
Yes, we spoke with them briefly regarding the hearing as well, but I think it's a work in progress. That's our first hearing that we had, and I'm looking forward to having some more about that as well and see what we can come out of it.
Because there was a bill previously that Governor Brown vetoed, that he vetoed because he thought it was too restrictive on law enforcement, and so there's this delicate balance that I don't think we've been able to figure out yet.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, it's a work in progress. We'll work at it and see what we can come about it. But in the meantime, I think we need to do something sooner versus than later, because I would hate an issue to occur where a drone interferes with emergency response and someone's life is taken because of it.
Very, very briefly, no doubt in your mind that by the time the session ends, there will be a number of drone bills passed?
It's hard to say, but there are a lot of them are working through this process. So we'll see how it goes. I know it's towards the end of the session. It's going to be a little hectic here, but hopefully we can get something constructive and working that way.
All right. Freddie Rodriguez, thank you very much for coming by and talking about this important issue. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable.